There are numerous game modes that you can play inside of Brawl Stars, and there are a lot of brawlers to play in each of those game modes. But in today's video, I will be discussing the best brawlers for each of the modes. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's start off with Gem Grab, and the best brawler for Gem Grab is definitely going to have to be Cordelius. I mean, like, come on. The only reason why Cordelius is pretty good in Gem Grab and in general is mainly because of his super. You can literally change the tides of any game with his super, and let me tell you why this is the case. Because think about it, you just send another brawler into another dimension away from every single other brawler. This allows you to basically reposition yourself and the gem carrier, and you could potentially even kill the strongest brawler on the team. So basically your allies will gain a lot more control on the map without having that one specific strong brawler try and take that control away. That is one of the reasons why Cordelius' super is good. With his super, you basically force enemies into a 1v1 duel, and with his Mushroom Kingdom star power, 3 spawnable mushrooms spawn around the Shadow Realm, allowing him to pick it up and heal himself up, or the enemies picking it up and dealing damage to themselves. This allows Cordelius to weaken them much more easier if their enemies end up picking it up, or allow him to try and cheat the duel and heal himself up, so it makes it harder for the enemies to try and kill him. He can also use his Poison Mushroom gadget to mute the enemy's attacks for 1 second, potentially chipping in more damage and securing a lot more kills on them. And this is why Cordelius will definitely be a good asset to Gem Grab. So now let's move on to Brawl Ball, and the best brawler for Brawl Ball is going to be Maisie. Well, think about it, she only needs 3 hits to charge up her super, and that's what makes her good. Speaking about her super, that is definitely one of the best reasons as to why Maisie is good in Brawl Ball. Because think about it, when you use her super, you knock back enemies and also disarm them if they have the ball, and completely ruining their rhythm. Combining this with her Tremor star power, since Maisie has an attack delay and it can be harder to hit her shots, when she uses her super combined with that specific star power, she also slows enemies down, allowing her to hit her shots more easily. Her hypercharge, when Maisie uses her super, her hypercharge releases 6 main attacks radially, potentially dealing a lot more significant damage on enemy brawlers, and charging up her super even faster. Combining her super with her disengage gadget, she has more reach to hit more brawlers, charging up her super way faster. If she hits all 3 brawlers with her super, then she instantly gains another super back and can chain as many as she wants. This is why Maisie is good in Brawl Ball. So now let's move on to Heist, and the best brawler for Heist is going to have to be Colette. The reason why she is the best brawler for Heist is because of her hypercharge. When activated, Colette's spirit follows her super, which both dashes and damages enemies in the same direction as her super at the same time. This is extremely helpful for the enemy's Heist safe as well, because she can deal a massive amount of damage, and I mean it's pretty disgusting as well. So she can get rid of a lot of health on the Heist safe, potentially leading the enemies to having to try and defend it more. Her gadget Gotcha is also pretty effective, as for the next 5 seconds, whenever Colette deals damage to an enemy, she takes 80% health from the damage that she gives the enemy. Her Mass Tack star power is also pretty good, as Colette's super gives her a 20% shield for 5 seconds, and every enemy brawler that is hit, it will add 10% more protection. She can also potentially be invincible if she hits enough enemies, and with that significant damage reduction, she will stay alive a lot longer in battle and can potentially do a lot more damage and secure more kills. And note that this star power does not affect slows, stuns, or knockbacks, so also be aware of that. But this is why Colette is the best brawler for Heist. Alrighty, so now let's move into Knockout, and the best brawler for Knockout is going to be Miko.
Okay, look, before you spam my dang comment section that this monkey is extremely horrible,
let me tell you why Miko is the best brawler in Knockout. So if you think about it, a lot of the Knockout maps that are in rotation currently are catered towards long-range brawlers like Brock and Piper, but Miko is the perfect counter to all of those brawlers, because he can utilize walls and bushes to maneuver around the map. What makes him more frustrating is his monkey business star power, as every 5 seconds he has a bar that fills up, and when the bar is full and he jumps on a brawler and ends up hitting them, he steals ammo for himself, and that's what makes him even more frustrating. It's already frustrating enough for brawlers to try and kill Miko because he's jumping all over the place, right? But this star power even makes it all the more annoying, as he's just stealing ammo, as brawlers will just count 1, 2, 3, but then, oh, where did this Miko get the ammo from? It's because of his star power. His gadget clipping scream is also kind of frustrating, as Miko lets out a deafening scream towards the nearest enemy, dealing 545 damage and slowing the enemies down for 2 seconds if it hits them, which makes it frustrating as brawlers have not much room to escape for 2 seconds, and Miko is able to get a lead on them much more easily. Including his Presto gadget as well, his next jump has 34% longer range. If he can't end up reaching one of the enemy brawlers, he can use his Presto gadget to potentially end up reaching them or getting way more closer to them so he can actually try and kill them. And this is why Miko is definitely the best brawler for knockout. The best brawler for bounty / wipeout, okay, look, I'm grouping them together because they're technically the same thing, okay? So the best brawler for those game modes are going to be Nani. Nani's shots travel in a parabolic arc, which can also travel behind walls, allowing her to reach more brawlers easier, even though they're hiding behind walls. Even though Nani got nerfed recently, her damage still feels the same, as well as her versatility. Even though it's harder to hit her shots, she still is a very viable brawler once you're able to hit those shots. Because her max damage is around 4,800, which is technically enough to one-shot many brawlers as well. I mean, who can outrange Nani? I personally don't know. Her return to sender gadget is also really good because when she activates her gadget, if a brawler damages her whilst she has the gadget on, 80% of the damage is returned back to them, which is potentially enough to even kill them when they're at low HP. Her super is also a primary aspect to why she is good because she can just hide behind a wall, her team spawn, or a bush, and enemies can't really do anything to stop it if she's behind cover. The only way that enemies can stop Nani from using her super on them is basically by killing her or stunning her or knocking her back, etc. And this is why Nani is good in bounty / wipeout. So the best brawler for Hot Zone is going to have to be Bo. He is pretty much the best brawler in Hot Zone because he got a buff to his main attack. Yeah, but then he got nerfed, but aside from that, yeah. His super is definitely going to have to be the primary reason as to why he is the best in Hot Zone. Just being able to throw your bow mines onto the Hot Zone makes it really frustrating for the enemies to try and take advantage of, as they have to either try and creatively activate it without getting hit, or they just have to suffer and basically stun themselves to allow Bo and his allies to just kill them easily. Both his gadgets help him a lot as well. Let's start off with the Super Totem gadget though. Whenever allies or Bo are in the radius of the Super Totem, their supercharge rate increases by 50%, allowing them to farm their super faster, and especially for Bo as he is able to place more mines. With his Tripwire gadget, when he activates it, there is a delay of 1 second before the mines activate. This is also unexpected to enemies because they do not know that they are about to trap into a landmine and can potentially get killed themselves or significantly damaged as well. This is very effective as Bo and allies are able to take control of the map that way and pretty much alter the enemy positions, as they have pretty much no way to escape after they've fallen into that landmine, and this is why Bo is good in Hot Zone. And finally, let's move on to Solo Showdown, and the best brawler for Solo Showdown is going to have to be Leon. Bro, ever since Leon got his dang hypercharge, he has been broken as hell, man. Before he got his hypercharge, he was kind of bad in Solo Showdown. And alright, so now let me tell you why Leon is the best brawler in Solo Showdown. One of the reasons is because of his super, as when Leon uses his super, Leon becomes invisible for a short amount of time. If you pair this with his Invisi-Heal star power, for every single second of his invisibility, he heals by 1000 HP. and that allows him to recover his health significantly more faster. If you use his lollipop drop gadget, he creates a stealthy area for himself and his allies, which allows him to further sneak up on brawlers much more easily. His attacks move from left to right, which make it easier to scout bushes, as well as also being able to hit enemies more easily. Even if you think you're gonna miss a shot, at least one or two of his shots will actually hit a brawler, and still that charges up your super, am I right? His gadget clone projector is also pretty effective, as Leon summons a clone of himself, and when brawlers hit the clone it deals double the damage to the clone. But this gadget is also very effective, as Leon can use it to bait out opponents thinking that it's the real Leon. It is especially effective when Leon is invisible, as the clone will walk towards the nearest enemy, allowing Leon to locate the nearest enemy and sneaking up on them, potentially securing a kill. His hypercharge is also one of the most broken in the game, as combining it with his super, even if Leon uses his attack, he will still not appear. And this allows him to chip in more damage, as well as sneak up on the brawlers even further without having to need his super. And this is why Leon is broken in Brawl Stars right now. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys later.
I become so numb.